Hey everybody, I'm here with Michel from Microsoft. Michel, how's it going today?
Pretty good. It's been a great show so far. I think this is day 3. I've come to a point where I'm not sure when I speak to people if I've already discussed certain topics with them.
Okay.
So midway through, I might just pause and be like, did I just say this on the show already or no?
That's awesome. Before I ask you maybe a few questions about your experience at the show, Michel, if you don't mind, just to kick us off, just share with our audience, who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, so my name is Michel Bouman. We change titles almost every year. I might have to just pull up my LinkedIn to see what it is now.
Good thing it's the first show of the year then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's I'm the EMEA Senior Solution Specialist Lead for Teams, Rooms, and Devices. What that means is we look after enablement, mostly technical enablement of the channel when it comes to the Microsoft Teams Rooms solution. And then with all the great announcements around Copilot and Copilot for Microsoft 365, we get to talk quite a lot about that as well. So it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of innovation as well.
That's awesome. Speaking of Copilot, I'm very interested to hear maybe your thoughts about Copilot and Copilot Pro for meeting rooms. Kind of, how that enhances some efficiencies and how people can actually work in these rooms with the new Copilot that is being launched right now.
Yeah, so let me start by explaining first how I use Copilot for Microsoft 365, and then we'll get into the room if that's okay with you. So you've seen all the marketing videos, right?
Yep.
And so I've been privileged to use this for now, I think 8-9 months. I'm blown away at least once a week because I find new stuff that it's capable of doing. So how I use this is on Monday morning, or even when I get to the hotel after today, I go on Teams and I ask Copilot and I say, what are the most important things I missed in my inbox? Please create a couple of categories and then some bullet points, some stuff that I need to know about that's happening in my inbox. And it tells me that. When I get home, I go home later. When I get home on Monday and start my new week, I ask Copilot, list all my meetings and then add 2 to 3 bullet points per meetings and all the relevant documents that I need to have in order to have a productive meeting. We spend 2 full working days on email and meetings a week, which I think is a complete waste of time. You and I, we make our money off of people having meetings.
That's true.
But I think it's a complete waste of time. So I think we need to rethink meetings. And this is where Copilot is really helping me to have more productive and efficient meetings, but also getting work done. So how does this work in the meeting room? The challenge with the meeting room is that how do we distinct different people from each other? How do we give people an identity in the meeting room? Because previously, if you would use a tool like Copilot for Microsoft 365, and you would ask what was said, it would say, well, conference room Shure 1 said X, Y, and Z. Now, because we can give people an identity and we have intelligent audio and intelligent video, now we can say, oh, Michel said X, Y, and Z in the meeting room, or Caroline said X, Y, and Z in the meeting room. So now because we can give everybody that identity in the meeting room, we can get information from that meeting room as well. And that works through voice recognition and facial recognition. So now I can say, let's say we're in a meeting. By the way, 2 out of 3 meetings will have at least 1 virtual participant. So having a good hybrid experience is important. Sure, we'll talk about it. But now I can say, so create me a table of topics that were discussed during this meeting. Let me know who raised this point, and then add all the action items that were discussed on those points. And within a couple of seconds, I'll have those action items. And it'll show what was said in the room as well.
That's amazing. So it's giving you efficiency in the room, right? You're having more productive meetings. And in addition to that, you're saving time on the back end, right? You're able to do other stuff, right?
I think we need to rethink what a meeting is. Right, so if you and I would have a meeting, if you would schedule, so my calendar is open to everyone.
Okay.
Right, so if you're watching this, you want to have a meeting with me, my calendar is open. But the meeting will always be 20 minutes. So people that say 20 minutes, that's not enough for me to talk whatever I want to talk about. But let's not look at a meeting at a isolated event. Let's look at it more from a life cycle perspective. So how about you send me all, and that's how we prepared for today, right? I get the invite. Do you want to come do Behind the Mic with Shure?
Yes.
Certainly. I learned to say certainly here. Certainly. What is it you would like to talk about? When do you need me there, et cetera, et cetera. We use the meeting itself just to go over a little bit of the details and make some decisions. So we don't use meetings to inform people. We need to use meetings to make decisions. And then after the meeting, we follow up on all the stuff that we discussed.
That's a really good point, and I think something that everybody needs to start thinking about
Yes.
when scheduling meetings. I think something that probably every organization, you probably deal with a lot of customers who maybe express this, there are too many meetings,
Yeah.
right? We are meeting all the time. We don't have enough time to actually get our work done. So being efficient with our meetings, doing 20 minutes, I'm actually may steal that idea from you.
You should do it, and it'll work. And if you're so used to doing 60-minute meetings, bring it back to 45. And then don't use the 15 minutes you get back for email or another meeting. Use those 15 minutes to do something else, especially when you're working from home, right? I gained like maybe 40 pounds during COVID because I kept walking downstairs and then eating chocolate, right? So now I have to lose all of that. But using those 50 minutes for something good, just to clear your mind.
Yep.
We're not machines,
Walk around the block.
right?
something
We're
like that.
great at sprinting, but then we need to rest,
Yep.
right?
Okay.
As human beings, we're not marathon runners. We're sprinters, and then we need to rest. So rethink what a meeting is.
I love it. I have a question I wanted to ask you about kind of your engagement with your channel and, large conference rooms, large spaces, and the importance of audio and what your customers are coming to you for. So maybe if you could talk a little bit about that, kind of what they're experiencing, what they need.
We believe that if you want to run an effective hybrid meeting, there are three components that are very important. One is being able to collaborate, right? That's where Teams comes in. The second one is what we call see and be seen. And that's not just about us being able to see each other, but it's about us being able to pick up nonverbal communication. Because I think 80 to 90% of all of our communication is nonverbal. You nodding at me, right? That's a signal to me that
I'm engaged.
you're engaged. Might not agree, but you're engaged, right? So the second part is the see and be seen part, picking up nonverbal. That's the reason why if you look at conference rooms now, they're not placing the camera above the display, but they're placing it underneath the display, so you can create that eye gaze. That's important. The third one is hear and be heard. Now we can have, so I think we're recording video now as well, but we could do this without the video, and people could still follow it. If the audio would cut off, or we would have a bad audio experience, nobody would watch this, right? So audio is key for running a meeting. Now, what a lot of customers struggle with is how do I take care of audio in my room? How do I deal with reverb? How do I make sure that everybody's voice is being picked up in that meeting room? And I think that's one of the biggest challenges in meeting rooms. I like seeing some of the innovations, both from what you do at Shure and the new products that you're announcing here or showing here, I think, for the first time. But also from a partner perspective. We're now starting to see partners that use VR in the meeting room to kind of figure out how sound travels in the room, and then what kind of soundproofing you need to do and what kind of mics and speakers you need to set up in that room as well. So audio is key for running a good meeting.
Awesome. Speaking of VR, I saw this morning that Microsoft or Apple announced, I'm not sure who really announced it, though, that Teams will be enabled or part of the launch of the new Vision Pro by Apple. I'm just curious, what do you think about that? How do you think that'll change things for end users out there?
Yeah, if anyone from Apple is watching this, I need a Vision Pro. I'm in the Netherlands. I know you don't ship there yet, but my name is Michel Bouman, so just feel free to send one. Obviously, I haven't had my hands on it yet. I'm excited about that world. I think we're a little bit, a couple of years out still of everybody living in VR and AR or spatial computing, as they like to call it. I don't even like to call it VR or AR. I'm interested to see where this goes. I think the form factor will change over time. It'll get smaller. I think we'll be able to be part of the environment while we're wearing the headset. Right? I think that you're very much in your own bubble. Even looking at some of the first reviews that are out, it's very your own world. So actually you're disconnected. So I think in the personal environment, I don't see myself sitting on the couch next to my wife and we both have a Vision Pro on and we're watching Netflix. I don't see that. But I'm seeing some of the demos of how people use this working in their favorite Microsoft tools. That's pretty cool. Right? So I can see that happening. I see that coming to the workplace. But again, I think we need to find a way to make sure everybody continues to be engaged with each other instead of just being in their own world. But I'm excited to see Microsoft 365 coming to the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be really interesting to see the adoption of it. If this is something now that the work from home community will start using, and just see how it evolves and develops in the space.
We're seeing it with VR. So we have this app called Mesh, Microsoft Mesh. It's avatars, so your avatars. I work on an international team. So I'm seeing my team here, the full team, but I think it's only the third or fourth time that I'm seeing my full team. You probably have the same.
Yeah.
We only meet hybrid or virtually. We're starting to use VR now to have our Monday morning meetings where we just chat about what we did on the weekend, what we have planned for the week. We do onboarding, we do social events, we do all hands or town halls, as we need to call them, in VR. It's interesting to see how your brain reacts to that. I feel so much more engaged, even though it's just cartoons and avatars. I feel so engaged once I'm in that world for like 10 minutes. I feel like I'm part of it. So I'm very curious to see where this is going to take us.
Awesome. I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot right now.
Oh, thank you.
So obviously Shure has always been a big part of the AV community. We love the AV community and our customers in that space. And you and I were talking before this a little bit about AV, and you mentioned a few things that you love about the AV community. If you don't mind sharing with our audience a little bit about your experience in the AV community.
You almost feel like a rock star when you walk at ISE, but only in this hall that you're in and the hall that we're in. We're next door. So you feel famous because everybody walks up and says, "Yeah, I know you from the streams and I've been on a training." But then once you go one hall down, nobody knows who you are. Right? So we're very famous in our own bubble, but I think everyone's famous in this bubble. That's what I love about this community. Yeah. It's really a community. Everybody likes to help each other. And at the same time, everybody's very welcoming when it comes to new members of the community. And that's what I love most about trade shows like ISE, is just seeing all my friends and all the quote-unquote famous people and say hi and just get to hang out and speak and see what's top of mind. Yeah. That's what I love about these shows.
Yeah, I like to call them AV celebrities. That's,
Let's make sure that sticks. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Michel, thank you for coming, spending some time with us over here. Have a restful, wonderful show, and
you too.
Take care, my man.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.